It's been a little while. Let's talk some football. So it's been kind of a down off season in that I haven't made many videos. I was going to make a video about the draft. I actually filmed myself watching the first night of the draft and it was boring. I had very little to say about the first night of the draft. So close. Commanders and then Bills. Unless they trade back, which they might do just to torment me for a second year in a row. Like, oh, Maggie's watching the draft? Let's not take anybody. First round. None of the Bills draft picks were super exciting. The only thing at the draft that was sort of interesting was what was going on with Shedeur Sanders, and it went on for so long that it stopped being particularly interesting. It was just kind of sad. Yeah, there wasn't really much going on at the draft that justified doing a video about it. Then I was going to do a short about the Micah Hyde softball charity game that we went to.
The weather is fantastic for this event.
And it was also sort of disappointing because we were sitting on the side of the stadium where the loudspeaker wasn't working, so we couldn't hear what was going on for at least half the game. So that was not super fun for my kids, who aren't really into baseball or football or any sports, and I was just dragging them to the game. My one kid does now kind of have a crush on Joe Andreessen. I love Buffalo Joe. Apparently Buffalo Joe is doing really, really well at Minicamp right now. There is a strong possibility we might see a decent number of non-special teams reps from Joe Andreessen on the Bills this season, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait to see if that happens. Hearing reports coming out of Minicamp have been interesting, just sort of who's doing what. People are injured already. Max Hairston, who's our first round pick, is already injured, so that's cool. We re-signed both Trey White and Dane Jackson. God bless them both. I love them both. I don't know if they'll both make the team. I said in my last video we were a little short at cornerback. Now we have almost too many cornerbacks. And when Jair Alexander got released the other day, everybody was like, Bill should try and get Jair. And I'm like, how? Where are we going to put him? Suddenly we have too many cornerbacks. I think Joey Bosa's already injured, because of course he is. Cole Bishop is apparently injured. I don't know what's going on with that. Not necessarily a shining start, but I'm hearing good stories coming out of camp from who's doing well. Keon's apparently doing really well compared to last season. Dalton Kincaid's bulked up a bunch and is doing really well. Some of the people who had sort of disappointing seasons last year in the final tally seem to have really worked hard in the offseason, as opposed to our former player who's been hanging out doing cocaine on boats with Cardi B. See how the Patriots enjoy that. The Patriots just hired Mike Vrabel, and I really feel like he might not be the guy who's going to put up with that sort of shit from Steph, but we'll see. Drake May is apparently about to get married because he just wants to be Josh Allen so bad. Josh Allen's wedding happened a couple weeks ago. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Those are pretty people getting married, I just gotta say. I felt kind of weird about the fact that there were all these pictures floating around from the wedding, but they were all from like weird telephoto lenses. I mean, don't get me wrong, I looked at them, but I didn't want to look for too long because I was just sort of like, I don't want to be watching these people kissing from like a mile away. It seems gross and weird. But what was fun for me was I did look at the pictures to see which players and coaches ended up actually going. I don't know if it's weird and sad that I can recognize Bills players from the backs of their heads. Like, that's kind of creepy. Like the fact that I was like, I think that's the back of Khalil Shakir's head. Oh yeah, probably, because that little blonde woman next to him looks like his wife. And I'm like, I shouldn't know this much about these people. Like, I feel super creepy right now. But it was a lovely wedding. Josh took a week off, basically, and came back in clearly very good spirits, which was nice to see.
We're back to football. Got some hardware now, so good to go. Thank you.
They also got, finally, James Cook to say something on camera. He came in for minicamp. He's been grumping about his contract on social media for a while, but he showed up. He came in. He played. And I saw people sort of giving him crap for the fact that when they asked him why he was there, he said, I like my money.
Why did you decide to come?
Oh, like my money.
Bills fans should know James Cook well enough at this point to realize his sense of humor is relatively dry. He meant it. Of course he likes his money. He doesn't want to get fined. Marshawn didn't want to get fined.
I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined.
He's also there because it's his job.
In order enough to win a Super Bowl or compete for a Super Bowl and have a winning season, I have to be out there and be out there with my teammates.
So he's going to joke about it, and it's going to be a joke with some seriousness underneath it, but he was there because he knows he owes it to his teammates, and he wants to play. He knows he's still under contract. He thinks he's worth more money than what he's getting paid this year, so he's going to try and get more. That's reasonable. I don't think what he's hoping for is reasonable. And I think everyone but James Cook seems to see that. You know, he's great. Don't get me wrong. I think he's an incredibly vital part of our... Why is there somebody walking outside of my house with some sort of recording device? The fuck? I think James Cook is clearly a very vital part of our offense, but he has a lot of shortcomings as a player. And if he wants to get paid like he's Saquon, he's not Saquon. He's not a great blocker. He doesn't play every down. The fact that he got as many touchdowns and many yards as he did for as few downs as he plays is actually pretty impressive. But like, you got to take that into account when you're negotiating for a contract. You're not Saquon. And the Bills historically do not like paying a lot of money to running backs. And we have other really good running backs on the team. We just gave a bunch of money to Ty Johnson. I mean, a bunch, but like for a third down back, yeah, it was a bunch of money and he deserved it. He had a fantastic season last season. James Cook also had a fantastic season last season, but he didn't have Saquon's season last season. I'm not giving him $15 million. And I see a lot of people being like, just give him the money. I'm like, how do you guys budget? We can't just give him the money. They don't just have the money. People don't make any sense on the internet. I don't know why I read the internet. Fun things I read about on the internet today, though. The Bengals are having kind of a rough time right now, which, you know, you spend all your money on some wide receivers, you're going to get kind of hosed on the other side of the ball, which is what's happening right now. Obviously, they've had this negotiation with Trey Hendrickson going on for a while. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And now their first round pick, who I believe is a defensive end, they're trying to screw him on his rookie contract. My understanding, I'm not a Bengals fan and I'm not an NFL legal expert, but they're trying to set up his contract so if he gets injured, they can void the rest of his rookie contract. It would be the first time that's ever happened, as I understand it. And he's understandably like, nah, I kind of don't want to sign that, which means, you know, maybe he doesn't play this year. Maybe he goes back in the draft next year. Maybe something weird happens. But like, if I was him, I wouldn't sign that shit. Why would you even, now you're going to sign with a team that clearly nobody wants to play for the Bengals at this point. If I were Trey Hendrickson, I just wouldn't even like, why? That sounds horrible. There's so many teams in this league that just sounds horrible to play for, you know? And I get it's a job and you're getting paid a ton of money, but like there's a reason that all those guys who were on their rookie contracts re-signed with the Bills earlier in the spring for less than they maybe could have gotten if they'd become free agents next year. Because, I don't know, if you guys had jobs where you had shitty bosses, I sure have. It makes a really big difference to go into work every day in a place where you feel appreciated and where you have a chance, strong chance, to go to the Super Bowl, which, you know, everybody can say any given year. But, like, I feel like the Bills have really been, let's be honest, they gave us kind of a cupcake schedule. You know, I don't think that the NFL necessarily is trying to get the Bills to the Super Bowl, but I'm not saying they're not. Like, if we're gonna do it, I feel like this is the year we're gonna do it, and if we don't do it, we have no one to blame but ourselves, because they have us going up against the NFC South, the Falcons, the Panthers. Who else is down there? The Bucks? We could lose to the Bucks, but like, come on. I think we have a good shot at it this year. We put so much money and effort into our defense, where our defense struggled. Let's see if they can pull it off. At the same time, we got Josh some new weapons at wide receiver. It's just a question of, can he build that sort of relationship with Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore, who I think both have the potential to be really good contributors to this team. Certainly more than Mac Hollins was. As much as I love Mac Hollins, he was kind of he came through a lot of the time, but he was also sort of hit or miss. I expect good things from, at the very least, Elijah Moore, who's been languishing in Cleveland. Now we'll let Shadur Sanders go languish in Cleveland. Oh my God, that quarterback room. Yikes on bikes. Everything this offseason, I think kind of what's been hard as far as me sort of wanting to do a video is it's just seemed very chaotic. Like, this offseason has seemed very chaotic. Aaron Rodgers didn't sign anywhere until last week. He went to the Steelers. My in-law group chat has been silent since that happened. We get to play him this year. See how that goes. It's always entertaining. Get good reaction GIF faces. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I really wanted to talk about. Oh, we're doing Hard Knocks for training camp. Should be interesting. I hope it's not just bitching about James Cook the entire time. We'll see. That's right down the road from me. I'm going to try again to get tickets. It's a lottery, so like, is what it is. And then maybe, tickets will go up for sale in Facebook groups, and if you get there soon enough, you can grab them, but we'll see. It would be great. It would be great to get to go. It seems really silly that it's so close to me and I can't go, but we'll see. Off-season videos are weird. I'll be back with more at some point later when there's more to talk about. In the meantime, go Bills.
Yeah, football.